All right, so you should see that my screen is recording. Can I get a confirmation on that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So welcome to tonight's Class 8. Um, in the Canvas module for week 8, I posted the PNG or the drawing for this week. It looks just like this. Okay, the object was to spend the first 30 minutes of class or so and get this drawn up. So if you're watching this later, please go ahead and draw this up and then we will continue and then pause this, whatever, and then continue with the lecture once it's drawn. All right. Are there any questions before we get going tonight? Right on. Okay. Um, so thank you guys for getting this done. Let's go ahead. I want to be on the construction layer. Okay, so what we're going to be doing tonight is the same thing as we did last night, or not last night, last week. But instead of doing one side, we're going to get all four sides done tonight. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to draw a line. Okay, I typically, like I said, like to locate this about 10 feet off. So I draw a line 10 feet to the north and then 10 feet to the west. Again, this is just setting a line so I can draw my story pole off of it. So tonight, I'm going to give us some more information now that we drew this. So let's go ahead. You guys don't need to put this in here. I'm just putting it in for my reference and your reference. Let me go ahead and put this on the window layer. Hold up. Actually, I'll just draw it up. Bottom sill at 3 foot. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to change this to my window layer just so it shows with my window. I'm going to go ahead and bump this annotation size up to 4 inches so you can, or 6 inches so you can see it pretty easily. Let's see if I don't want to move it over. I was just trying to extend that. All right, let's do that. I'm just going to move it right. Okay, so these two windows on the outside, I'm going to go ahead and again, you guys don't need to do this. This is just for all of us for later. And then we're gonna go bottom sill at 4'6" and top sill at 8. All right. So what this means for me is on this side, I need to draw a line. Again, I want to draw a line that's 10 feet tall. We're gonna go ahead and start with a 10-foot tall wall at all times for our sides. Again, if you want to draw a story that's 12 feet on your final project, no big deal, right? But tonight we're going to start with 10 feet. And just because I like to, and I'm just going to go ahead and dimension this, make it a little easier for us to see. And I'll just put 10 feet there. Perfect. So what other dimensions do we need for our story pole? Anybody?
Window height.
Window height. Well, what height are my windows at?
I don't know. Are they 4 foot and 6 foot? Are they
I
2 foot windows? What size windows do we have? Heights.
that's why I put it right here.
Okay, 4 by 6. So
I want the
4 foot to six, four
bottom
feet 6 inches.
3 6, the
Okay.
top at 6 feet, right?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and I'll do one that's 3 foot 6 inches. Okay, I'll do another one. And just because I want to stay consistent, I'll go ahead and give that a dimension to it. And I don't like things on the very edge, so I'm just going to move this over just a hair. We'll move it over a foot. Oh, that's 1 inch, and we'll move it over a foot. So I moved it 1 inch before, and now I'm going to move it 11 inches to create that foot. All right. So 3, 6, what else do we need? What's our next height?
Of window.
Huh?
Top of window.
Top a window, but we also have something else,
Four
another
foot.
4, 6, right?
Yep.
Ah, sorry. Okay, so we got that guy at 4, 6. Okay, what else do we need? We got two more heights, and maybe I need to move this guy out just to we'll go ahead and move him out like 10 feet, just to give us some more room here. What other heights do we have? 6 feet, right? So we're
Yeah,
gonna do
6 foot
6 feet. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do one more
and 8 foot.
at 8 foot exactly. So I'll just go ahead and do this one at 8 foot right there. And I'm gonna move it over 4 feet. All right. So now we have our 4 different heights that we want on our story pole. We have 3 foot 6 for the bottom sill of this window and the window here. We have 4 foot 6 for the bottom of the two windows here. That's for both of these. We have 6 feet for the top of this one. We have 8 feet for the top of these two. And then we've got 10 feet for the height of the wall. So let's go ahead and go back now that our construction lines are drawn here. And let's go back to our layer of exterior walls. And I want to draw a line, and I'll go ahead and use a polyline. Again, I know this is 40 feet long, so I'm going to draw a polyline 40 feet by 10 feet by 40 feet by 10 feet. Or I can click back to the endpoint and hit escape. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time for anyone who missed it. So let's go ahead and do a polyline. Now I could do a rectangle. I like doing a polyline. It feels like you have more control. It's easy to draw. So I'm going to draw here again, going east 40 feet, going north 10 feet. And 10 feet is just the height, right? So that's why we have that 10-foot mark. Okay, did I need to draw it over here? Not necessarily, but since it was a height that I was using, I figured I might as well go ahead and draw it. So 40 feet back, and then let's go down 10 feet. All right. So now that we have our exterior wall, let's go ahead and draw our construction lines from every intersection, right? So I want to draw from the left edge of this window. Okay, and I can draw all the way up. And you can just keep drawing a line, right? Which you can hit enter and draw a line again off this window. Or you could use your copy command and copy with a base point. And we'll copy from this corner to this corner to this corner. And you can go ahead and copy that all the way down on every edge of every window.
How tall are those lines again?
Huh?
How tall are those lines again?
Doesn't matter as long as it's past the height of the wall.
Okay.
So I just drew it up to the height of the wall, so then that, or past the height of the wall, when we turn these construction lines off later, they'll go away, right? So I just wanted to get past this top elevation here. All right. Once we've got our construction lines drawn from our windows going straight up, we want to go ahead and draw some construction lines from our story poles. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to draw a line all the way across. Now this one might be, you might want to just continue to draw a line from here. Otherwise, you could copy this um, from the base point. The problem with that is if that line isn't long enough, when you copy it to this next spot here, it might end up being too short. And if it's too short, you can go ahead and click that line and then just go ahead and extend it all the way down. All right, so we just want the lines to, it doesn't matter how long they are, we just want them to make sure they pass either the top of this elevation view or the side of the elevation view from the story pole. All right, so I'll give that a minute. Let you guys get all your lines drawn. And I'm going to go ahead and, now that all my lines are drawn on the construction layer, I'm going to go ahead and change to the window layer. And I am going to draw some rectangles. So I'm going to use this rectangle tool, and we're going to draw this very left one. So we want to look at the information that's down here. So the bottom sill is at 3.6 and the top is at 6. So I want to draw a rectangle from the left-hand side of the window and 3'6" to the right-hand side of the window and 6 feet. So you want to get that intersection from 3'6" to 6 feet high, right? As well as the left-hand side of the window and the right-hand side of the window. So we're going to do that again 3 more times. Okay, this time I'm going to go ahead and do the same, the one that I did before. I'm just going to do it again on the very right-hand side. So 3'6", I take that 3'6", I follow it all the way out to the left-hand side of my window. I click that intersection, and now I'm going to the right-hand side of the window, and I'm going up to 6 feet, right? So follow that from 6 feet to the right-hand side of that window, and we're going to choose the intersection there. Once we have those two drawn, let's go ahead and focus on the middle two windows, which are going to go from 4'6" to 8 feet. All right, so let's go ahead and draw a rectangle from 4'6" on the left-hand side of the window to 8 foot on the right-hand side of the window. Okay, and last but not least, we have one more window to draw. We're going to go to our rectangle. We're going to go to the left-hand side of the second window over, or sorry, the second of the same type, right, of the 4'6" and the bottom sill and the 8 foot top. So we'll go to 4'6" on the left-hand side. Go ahead and click if a midpoint shows up, if an intersection is both the same. And I'm going to go ahead and click at the 8 foot height and the right-hand side of that window. Are there any questions on that? Does anyone need me to repeat a step?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. So ultimately, once we're done with this, okay, I'm gonna leave this construction layer on when we do our next wall, but I'll turn it off right now just so you can see. Once we're done with drawing that profile view, we can turn that construction layer off, and now we are left with just that profile view with the windows located in the X direction, right? As well as the Z direction, right? So we're looking left to right as well as up and down. Okay, so I'm going to turn this back on. We're going to go ahead and draw all of our walls with the same method, but we're not going to flip them yet. So we'll just go ahead and draw them all, and then we're going to mirror them later. We'll talk about that and what needs to happen. So at this point, I'm going to keep the same window heights around the building. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this guy. Oh, and I'll turn my ortho off. So I'm going to call this one, that one, and this one at that height. And then I will call these ones out with those heights. Okay, so that's just a reference for us. What we can do at this point, okay, we can spend time and we could go ahead and start on the east side the same way we did on the north side by drawing a line, right? Moving over to our construction layer, drawing a line that's, 10 feet out, right? Turn my ortho on. 10 feet to the east, and I'll go 10 feet to the north. Okay. And we could place all these lines again, or we could be smart and use some of our modifiers and select all of those lines right there. Okay, so all the lines that are going for our story poles and setting up our 10-foot offset and our 10-foot over or 20-foot over. And we could copy that using our copy command, so COPY. Or again, it's this guy up here, right here, copy. And we're going to copy with this bottom left corner of the north wall, right? We're going to copy from here to the right corner. Now, I know it might seem scary, okay? But as soon as you place that, we can grab that again. And this actually, let's go ahead and do this. We'll do it a little differently so it doesn't overlap. So I'll grab all these. I'm going to go ahead and copy it, and I'm just going to copy it straight to the right past everything. I don't care where it ends up. I'm going to rotate it and realign it. But this way, you can select all of this without having to go and deselect or select lines through this profile view. So once I've got that copied over, again, I'm going to use one of my modifiers, which is my rotate command. I'm going to choose my base point of this bottom line, right? This is the line that was the offset from our north wall. And I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees to the right. Once I've done that, I'm going to select the whole thing, use my move command, MOVE. Again, that's up here, this move command right here. Choose the base point of this bottom line, and I'm going to bring it back in and choose the corner of my building. And I can tab through. Oh, Sorry, I'll do that one more time. Use my move command and choose from this endpoint. And I was trying to hit tab. If you just hit that parallel, that's fine. Sometimes you might get that up there. I got my square for a second. I don't really care. It's going to put you in the same spot. But now I'm set up on this side with the same story pole that we used for the north side. Okay, so does anyone want me to do that again? Or are we good with the new location of the story pole for the east wall? Okay, I see a couple thumbs up, so I will proceed forward. So, just like before, okay, the next step was to move back to our exterior wall layer. And we're going to go ahead and draw a polyline. You can draw a line, it really doesn't matter. I think this was a polyline. We're not going to be doing anything where we do an offset to it, so it doesn't matter if it's connected, but I just like to draw a polyline if I'm going to keep something connected. I'm going to draw from the endpoint here from our 10-foot offset to our story pole, right? This is where our ground, quote unquote, is going to be. I'm going to draw down 20 feet because I know I have a 20-foot wall. I'm going to draw to the right 10 feet because I have a 10-foot tall wall. Again, you're going to look at this and it's going to be a little sideways, and that's okay. We're going to rotate them or mirror them, do whatever we need to later. But this is the process of creating a wall utilizing a story pole. Okay, so we're going to draw 20 feet back. And then last, we're going to draw back to our origin point of that wall and hit escape to get out of the command. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that one more time. I'm going to use my polyline. I'm going to draw from the bottom of this story pole and the extent of the 10-foot offset. Okay, that's just a 10-foot offset, so we're not working on top of ourselves. I'm going to go ahead and use a polyline, draw from this corner down 20 feet. I'm going to type in 10 feet to the east to give us an elevation. 20 feet back to the north, and 10 feet back to the origin point and hit escape to exit the command. All right, so at this point, it's very similar to what we've done before, right? We're just going to go ahead, change our layer to construction, grab a line, right? So use your line command or your line tool in the ribbon, and we're going to draw a line off the north side of this window. Again, it doesn't matter how far it extends as long as it extends past. I just don't like extending it right here. We could do it right there. I just go past because it doesn't matter. We're going to turn it off later. Once we've drawn that line, we can do the same thing. You can draw the line over and over again if you want to. Or if you're lazy like me, I just like to be efficient and I'll copy it from the corner of each window. Just like that. Again, we're going to be using the same top and bottom sill heights. So I'm going to use a line and draw from my 3'6". And this time I'm just going to draw them all individually. So I'll hit escape to exit or to end the command, and then I can just go ahead and hit enter again, and it'll start it right back up. So I could draw this guy down, escape, enter, this guy down here, escape, enter, and this guy here. Earlier I copied it, but I copied it and then the lines were too short, so I had to extend them. This time I just drew 4 different lines coming off those story pole heights. now that we have all of our grid lines drawn on our construction layer, we can go ahead and change over to our windows layer. And same as before, we're going to draw a rectangle for where the windows go. So this one's going to be 3'6" to 6 feet. So I'm going to go 3'6" out the top of the window, or the top and right, the left hand side of the window or the right hand side. It doesn't matter. In this instance, we're going to call it the top of the window, the bottom of the window. Okay. And then we need to go to the 6 foot story pole mark. So we'll go from 3 foot to 6 feet, 3'6" to 6 feet from the left hand side of the window to the right hand side of the window. Oh, what just happened? Hold up that. Something's glitching on me. All right. I think we're back in business. Okay, so now we need to do the same thing. Again, if I've got like items, right? This is 3'6", this is 3'6" and 6. I go ahead and typically will do those together just because I know what I'm looking for. So I know I'm going from this 3'6" out to this 6 feet, and I'm going from the left hand to the right hand side of the window. And then I'll typically come back. I don't care if you do the 4'6" to 8 feet between. I just workflow wise, anything that's a like item, I try to take care of on the same wall. And then this window is from 4'6" to 8 feet. Okay. And now, just like before, I could go ahead and turn off my construction layer. And now we see that wall and the windows and the placement that they're at. All right, so we're moving right along. Same thing for this next one. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna just grab these lines right here. Same thing as we did before. I'm gonna copy them, and I'm just gonna copy these straight down, get them past my other construction lines, select them, and use my rotate tool. I'm gonna rotate around this base point here that is off of the base point that we're gonna bring to the corner. Rotate that 90 degrees. And then I'm going to move this whole thing from this base point back to the corner. And now we're set up to go ahead and draw our construction lines on the south wall. So, but this one, we've got one more thing. Okay. So this one, we have one more line that I want to add. I'm going to go ahead and add it. And just because I want to show that it's on, you don't need to. Actually, I'll just draw it on the construction layer. That's fine. I'm going to move this 6 foot one over just a little bit to create some room. And then I'm actually going to draw a 7 foot line that's going to represent the top of our door. And I'll throw a dimension on it just so we have a reference for it. And I know you could probably draw this upright, okay, but we're doing what's called a butterfly drawing. And that's where everything starts at the beginning, starts at the origin, and opens outward. And then we can rotate from there to create the correct mirrored image or the flipped image or rotated image, whatever it needs to be. Okay, so now that we've got our construction lines drawn here and the addition of our 7 foot line, okay, we can go ahead and swap back over to our exterior walls. Using our polyline, we're going to draw a line again from this corner, just like we had before. This time we're going 40 feet back to the west, 10 feet back south, 40 feet back to the east, and 10 feet north, and escape to exit the command. And now that we have this exterior wall drawn, we can go ahead and draw our construction lines just as we have done before. And I'm going to draw from this left corner straight down. Oh, make sure that I swap back over to my construction work set, right? And you'll notice that right off the bat because I drew this line, and what color was it? Right, it was blue, and my construction layer is yellow. So let's go back, make sure you draw this on construction. And we're going to go to the line and draw a line from the left-hand side of this window straight down and use our copy command, COPY, right? Or this guy up here in the ribbon. And we're going to copy this from the edge of the window to the edge of the other window to the edge of the first edge of the door, the second edge of the door, the edge of the second window, and the far edge of that second window. And same as we've done before, right? We're going to go ahead and draw our lines across from our story pole. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line from 3'6" all the way over, from 4'6" down, all the way over, from 6 feet down. And again, I'm just hitting the enter command to end it and the enter command to start the command back up. So enter, end it, enter, and start it. And I've quickly drawn the horizontal lines at all of the different vertical elevations that we need. So let's go ahead. There's nothing in here. I guess I can put in here real quick. I'll go to the door layer real quick and just put in.
Is that blue box 40 by 20 or 40 by 10?
40 by 10. It's the elevation
Ah,
is 10.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. There, I just put this in here just so you've got that reference, right? But we got a 7-foot door height, and obviously the door is going to go from the ground, right? So every time we have this line, right? This is, oh, let me move back over to this layer real quick. And again, you don't need to write this in here, but this is just so you make sure you're orienting yourself because we're upside down right now. Reset my default. There we go. All right, so this is the ground, right? Right here, right? So this is the ground, so we're drawing upside down in this view. Okay. We'll mirror the whole thing over to get what we want, but for now, this is what's coming off the butterfly drawing to create the same effect that we're doing on all of the rest of the profiles. So let's go ahead and change to the Windows layer. We're going to draw from 4'6" to 8 foot, right, with your rectangle tool. So we'll come down, find 4'6", the cross section right here of the right-hand side of the window, left-hand side of the window, and 8 feet for this cross section, right? So we're going to draw from 4'6" to 8 feet, and we're going to draw from the left side of the window to the right side of the window. While we're on the window layer, might as well stay there. So let's draw one more. And this one is saying, hey, it's from 3'6" to 6 feet. So let's go to the 3'6" mark, to the 6 feet mark. Okay, so you follow that over 6 feet, 3'6" at the bottom, and then the left and the right-hand side of that window. So let's go ahead and change layers real quick to the door layer. and draw a rectangle from the base or the ground line from the left-hand side to the right-hand side of the door all the way up to the 7-foot elevation line. So we should have a window on our left-hand side from 3.6 down to 6 feet. Our door from 0 to 7 feet, and our window from 4.6 to 8 feet. All right, how we doing? Do we need a minute to keep up? Where are we at?
I'm doing good.
Doing good?
I'm all caught up, so.
Okay, that's 2, 3.
I'm
Cool.
not caught up yet, but I'm following along pretty good.
Right on, Steven.
Graham, I'm gonna.
All set, all good.
Cool. Just because this is getting a little close to my UCS point, I'm just going to select everything in here and move it up here just so I can get away from that UCS point and we don't see it in our view.
Graham, I'm gonna head out of the school. I guess they're gonna lock the doors pretty soon. I'm gonna beat this
Okay.
traffic on.
Sounds good. Head out. Go ahead and thank you for your patience and good work tonight.
Thank you.
And
Really appreciate it.
jump on later, and the video will be uploaded probably by like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
It's been uploading pretty quick, so you can get back onto it tonight if you want, or tomorrow, whatever. But yes, thank you for your time, and yeah, if they're shutting the school down, go ahead. So
All right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
cool. Thank you. All right. So for the rest of you that are still here, we're gonna go ahead and finish up with this west wall, and then we're going to turn some construction lines off and start thinking about how we might need to orient this to create a view that is looking from the outside in. Okay, so let's go ahead. Last but not least, right? Let's do this one more time where we grab, again, I'm lazy, right? I don't want to draw something again that I've already drawn once. I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it from this base point way far to turn my ortho on, way far to my left out of the construction lines. Take the whole thing again, use my rotate command, specify this top base point up here, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees to the left. And then we're going to take the whole thing and use our move command, and we use from this base point back to the wall. And then we're left with the last task, right? We got 2 windows left and 1 wall. So I'm going to go ahead and swap it over to exterior wall layer. Use my polyline. Again, I know this wall is 20 feet long, so 20 feet by 10 feet by 20 feet back down by 10 feet back to the origin, and hit escape to enter the command. Once you've got that wall drawn, we're going to go ahead and change from the exterior wall layer back to the construction layer and draw all of our points. Now this time we still have the 7-foot dimension on here because we had it from before. I'm not going to delete it because it's not hurting anything, but we don't need to draw a construction line off of it because we don't have a door or anything with an elevation of 7 feet. So I'm going to draw a line. Again, we've been starting with the windows, so I'll draw all the way out. Take this line, use my copy command. Copy from the left-hand side of the window to the right-hand side, or the bottom to the top, however you want to think about it. So that way we've got all edges of the windows. And then we can use our line command to draw a line off of the 3'6", the 4'6", the 6 foot. Again, we're skipping the 7 foot because we don't have a door, and then one off the 8 foot. And then last but not least, we're going to go ahead and use our rectangle command, change our layer back to our windows. And this one is 3/6 to 6 feet. So 3/6 from the left-hand side of the window to 6 feet on the right-hand side of the window. And you can use enter to repeat that command. And we're going to go from 4/6 on the left-hand side to 8 foot on the right-hand side. And we should be left with something that looks like this. It's a mess, I know, right? But it's all going to get sorted out in a second. Okay, so I'm going to give you till 7:25 to add those last couple windows and construction lines. Is 7:25 acceptable, or do you guys need till 7:30? I know that some of you are trying to keep up, which I get. Um, Once you've done it once, it's all the same, but again, it's just a matter of rotating, copying, repeating, right?
I'm all done, so I can hang out.
Cool. All right,
Yeah,
so
I'm done too.
okay, we got a few done. Okay. So is there anyone that's not done? We'll put it that way. Is there anyone that needs more time?
Yeah, I'm not done yet, but I can't read the height on the windows on them. So
On what?
well, it's your picture's way too small. I can't see the yeah, there we go.
Is that
Cool.
better for you?
Yeah, I just need to write it down because yeah, when you make it small, so it's
Nope.
4 foot 6 inch and 8 foot. All right. And then and that one's 368 or
Three,
three.
6, and 6. It's the same
Oh,
two window
366.
sizes and elevation.
Okay. 3, 6, and 6. Okay. Add 8 feet or 8. Yeah. Okay. I can see what you're saying. Well, it's because the top one says bottom sill 4/6, top sill 8 foot, and then on the left side, and then 3/6 and then 6.
Right.
Those are the heights you want those two?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And it should come out looking something like this when you're done. So I will go ahead. Let me try to do this real quick. I'm gonna go Z, enter, W, enter, and do zoom window so you can see everything as big as possible. Can you read any of that?
Yeah, I can read that like that.
Okay, perfect.
Don't forget to hit save if you haven't done that already.
Yes, please. That's a great reminder. Was that Leaf?
Yeah, I like to remind myself that every once in a while.
No,
Or,
it's a good reminder because and even in the real world, I'm in a situation at work where like I've got so many people working on the same project. We actually have it's funny, check this, I'll show you right here. A little sidetrack. But here's my work teams. We actually have what's called a sync log. So like we synchronize to central, that's how we save our project. But like literally I can only save like I saved at like 11:18. I was able to save at like 3:06 again because so many people are in here and we can't save on top of each other. So I have lost some work last week because I did all this work and everyone else was syncing and I couldn't sync. And then by the time I could sync, I crashed. So please save.
oh,
It happens in the real world. Last week I lost about 8 hours. Um,
uh,
so you know what
I,
that meant? I spent 8 hours on Saturday working, and that's not what I was planned to do. So, unfortunately, shit happens. I get it, but in this class, like, there's no reason you shouldn't be saving pretty frequently. There's no one else on the. You don't have to wait for anyone else to clear out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
our saves take 10 to 15 minutes. So it's not like it's just a quick Control S and you're done.
yeah. When they
But
say that, I was like in Excel for like 4 hours today, and we updated to Windows 11 at work, and autosave
Oh,
was off, and I looked up and I was like, oh, thank God I didn't do anything stupid. But
yep. Yep.
yeah,
All right. So let's go ahead and at this point, let's start to evaluate what we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off this construction layer. And we're going to be left with just our butterfly drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, you guys don't need to do this. I'm going to go ahead and open up my last week drawing real quick. And I'm going to copy this section view in. I'm going to put you on layer 0 and flip you. Okay, so this is the section view that we're drawing, or the elevation view. Again, some people see this and think it's got to be an interior section. It doesn't. That's just a symbol for you're taking a cut from the outside or the inside, right? But at least it shows you what. Oh, sorry. Let's drag that back a little bit. Why are you not dragging back, you piece of crap? Oh, because OSnap is on and it keeps trying to revert to that. There you go. All right. So we're going to take that. I'm going to copy this around a couple times. Take this one, flip it. Ultimately, this is just to help you guys see what we're trying to show, which is where are we standing and what way are we facing. Okay. So these are all going to be. Okay, so it's all going to be from the outside looking in. And it just helps you to be able to visualize where we're at. So let's go ahead and do this. And then we're going to flip this guy. Okay, so this north view, right? We're standing here looking south. So that means we've got a window, right? So last week, what do we have to do to create this view? To create it looking right?
We had to
flip it.
reverse it, flip
We had
it.
to mirror it, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mirror this one. Okay, so then that way what we're seeing is ultimately this 6-foot gap between these two windows is going to be on our right-hand side versus the 4-foot gap, which will be on our left-hand side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did I confuse myself? 6-foot gap there. We do want to mirror this, right? Yeah. Yeah, because we want the 6-foot gap on the left-hand side. So we're going to mirror this from our right-hand side. Erase the source object. And I'm just going to go ahead and actually move this whole thing over to here. And we're going to call this north elevation. Yep. So now what we're doing is we had all these views around the outside. Once we flip them and rotate them, okay, then we can build a view over here or different sheets over here that actually depict these without your floor plan, right? So it doesn't look like it's kind of confusing. It actually helps quite a bit. So what do we need to do here to create this from the outside looking in? This one's pretty simple.
Or rotate it.
Rotate it. You got it. Nope. So we're going to rotate it from this base point I'll rotate it. Actually, I'm gonna move it. Let's do it. I'll go ahead and rotate it from the top base point. That's fine. That way it's not interfering with anything. Rotate. And we'll rotate it just like that. And now this is our east elevation. And I'm going to take the ortho off real quick and just put it right here and call that. And I can copy this guy and I'll call this east elevation. All right. What about this one here?
Flip it on the X.
Flip it on the X. You got it. Okay, so we're going to mirror this guy across this line here. Oh, make sure that. And yes, we're going to erase that source object. And then let's go ahead and move this. I'll just move this right here for now. That's fine. We'll just put it next to here. And I don't care if they're really aligned right now. I'm not getting picky on that. We'll worry about that next week when we start putting our final project together. Okay, but this is going to be our south elevation. Okay, and then last but not least, what do we got here? What do we got to do? This one's the trickiest one. Well, let's first start by flipping it so this is on the left-hand side. So let's mirror this. Okay. So now this is the elevation, the bottom sill. So this is our bottom. Now what do we need to do?
You need to mirror that guy.
We need to mirror it. I don't want to mirror it. It's already been mirrored.
Rotate it.
We need to rotate it. Yep. So we need to rotate this guy. Again, I'll use this base point up here. And then we're going to move this over to here. We call this our west. West elevation. Okay. So even though we drew things sideways and upside down and sideways over here and kind of facing from the wrong direction, we can still take those lines and convert it, and now we have four perfect external elevations. And if you want to, you can go ahead. Okay, we could go to dimensions real quick if you wanted to turn your dimensions on and you wanted to come here and we could, we could dimension from there to there, right? We could dimension we could dimension from there to there, right? And we could go back and go to our east elevation, right? And see, oh yeah, we got 2 feet here. We got 4 foot window. This is at 3'6", right? So you can go through, we could dimension the whole thing, which is what I want you to do tonight. To finish off tonight is I want you to finish dimensioning this. Okay. And you can see where all your elevations are, right? And when you're done with all this, it'll line up exactly with what you showed And maybe you need to move a few text items around, right? Don't be afraid to move something because you need to put that info there. But now I've got that east elevation looking from the outside, right? I'm standing here. Okay, and I could call this right here, and we'll get to this later when we get to our final project and start putting these sheets and views together, but we could go ahead and call this detail, 1 on sheet 2 or whatever, and you could come into this section head, and I could actually come in here and I could enter that this is detail 1 on sheet number 2. And so I'd actually have a reference to where this was, right? So when I built a separate sheet, I could put this on its own sheet and then call out where you need to go look. Okay, so what I want to see tonight for a screenshot, and I don't care if it's super blown out, whatever. I want to see a screenshot of your elevation. I don't care necessarily about this. If you want to include it, that's great. But I want to see all 4 of these elevations and all 4 of those elevations detailed, right? So detailed with the height of the windows and the width of the windows and where they sit in space. Is there any questions on that? Okay. Um, So let's go ahead and make sure that you submit a screenshot with all that information in there. Again, dimension the whole thing. I'm not going to finish dimensioning it. You guys can do that. Okay. Um, I want to get into, for the last few minutes of today, I want to introduce the final project. Okay, now the final project is going to be due on December 3rd. Okay. I know that we don't have class December 26th. I think they make me not have class because of it being the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Okay. So, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, we're still just working on that final project. So, let me go ahead and pull up my canvas. Bring this back over. And I have opened up this module for the final project. Now it still says 2024. It's the same thing. I will update it in a few days. I haven't gotten a chance to get back to it. But if you go to your modules and go to the very, very bottom of your modules, okay, you now have a final project module that should be posted. Now all these blocks are blocks that we have already utilized. Okay. Um, Let me go to here real quick. Let's see what's in this rubric. Oh, nope. We're not going to get into that. So I'm going to undo this one. I got to not share this. Unpublish that. Let's see what this is. Oh, I think that's the video that was from before. So we're going to disable that as well. All right, so let's go ahead right here. The submission due by 12/3, 8 p.m. Okay, so that's 3 weeks from now, essentially. 3 weeks and 20 minutes. All these blocks are stuff that we have already used in class and brought in. So let's go ahead and look at this final project. Okay, it's very simple. Okay. Um, Again, the 2D blocks are available in week 7. That's probably week 6 of your canvas, but that's fine. So, project concept. The final project should be modeling a space in which you are familiar with or you want to become familiar with. This means maybe your current dwelling, maybe a future mother-in-law house, maybe a small vacation home. It could even be an office space with applicable furnishings. The choice is up to you. Okay, so I have provided blocks for all types of normal interior dwelling stuff, not necessarily like blocks for convenience stores. However, that doesn't mean you can't do something else you want. So anything you want to do that has some meaning for you, that's fine. If for some reason you're doing a convenience store, you're doing a gym, maybe you won't have a bed or a couch. Maybe you'll have workout equipment instead, or maybe you'll have, fridges for your coolers, right? Whatever it may be, model in the appropriate furnishing. So, what we're going to be doing implementation, the final drawing must include a floor plan view of the entire structure, at least one level. Some people want to go above and beyond, do their two-bedroom house or their two-story house. By all means, you can do that. We can talk about how to create two different plan views with multiple elevations, or we can do a single elevation, right? We'll figure out, I can help you with that. Okay, if that's something you're interested in. Okay, elevation views of all exterior walls. So ultimately, we did all this tonight, right? We did a floor plan. Maybe we didn't detail it out to the level of the interior, but we did a floor plan, basically exterior floor plan, and a all four elevation views of the exterior wall. Okay, you should also have doors, windows, walls, kitchen sink, or kitchen counter, sink, toilet, bed, couch, etc. Right? You should have all of those types of elements modeled. Modeled elements should be shown both in plan view and elevation views if applicable to that view. So when we talk about an internal section, which will be coming up in the next week or so, it'll be coming up next week actually. So when we talk about an internal section, maybe you're cutting a living room section that has a couch in it. Maybe you're cutting a section of your interior of your kitchen, right? So it's going to have a stove. It might have a fridge. It might have some cabinetry. Okay, so we'll talk about that in the next week. Okay. We also need dimensions for all prominent elements such as doors, windows, cabinets, anything that can't move, okay? If it's a bed, if it's a table, if it's something I could rearrange and change the layout of the room, I don't need a dimension for it. We're going to provide titles for all the rooms, right? So inside of, let me know it's your bedroom, a kitchen, a bathroom, whatever it is. And then we're going to place the views on title blocks as instructed in class. We will do this together. Okay, so a lot of this is stuff we've done before, a little bit to an extent. Putting stuff on title blocks, we will do that. Okay, not a big deal. It's going to be pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and do section views and title blocks next week. That being said, if I pull up my calendar, next week is the 19th. We will have class. The following week is the 26th. There will be no class. I'll send out a reminder. And then the 3rd is the final project due date. However, it's still a 2-hour time that we can work on putting that final project together in class. So if you come with most everything prepared, all your drawings kind of done, your dimensions there, you just need to put your sheets together, we can figure that out. Okay, so I will help you get it all together. The important thing is that we start getting our plan view drawn, our elevations drawn, right? Go back to last week, or let's go back to even, um, let's open up, the week before that, week 6, right? Where we brought all these blocks in, right? And we actually started making a space with toilets and sinks and countertops um, and couches, right? So we're going to ultimately, this final project is a culmination of everything we've learned, and we're going to be drawing a little house, a little dwelling of your type, of your choice. So that information is now available on Canvas for you. Like I said, the due date is the 3rd. Okay, so and you'll see that right here. If you go to your modules, you will see that in your final project right here. Final project submission due 12/3 by 8 p.m. Okay, and this is where we're submitting it. The final project is 20 points and it is a total of 35% of your grade. Okay, so that final project is it's big, okay? But that doesn't mean it needs to be scary. It just means it needs to be detailed and needs to be thorough, right? So ask questions. We will, continue to put this together, but the more effort that you put forth from now till the next, 2.5 weeks, is just going to set you up for success. Okay, so I'm not going to be hounding on you. Hey, have you got this drawing done? Like, I'd like for you next week. We'll go through, a little bit. If people want me to look at their drawings and give them some feedback, we can do that. Okay, so um, I know we don't have a meeting on the 26th, I think, because of Thanksgiving. If we want to, I can go ahead and open up that time. I will still open office hours, okay, on that 26th. They are not mandatory, but I will be here to help you guys learn. Okay. So if you want to join the Zoom session, I will have a session from 6 o'clock to 8 on the 26th. Like I said, it's not mandatory. Everyone will get credit for being there. It's a school holiday past 5 o'clock that day or past like 3 o'clock that day, so they don't open the building. But if we're doing it Zoom, I'll go ahead and give you guys my time. So, any questions? I know we went through a lot today. We went through a lot in this last little bit. The final project should be fun. Okay. It's not scary. Just make sure you put a little bit of effort for it because you cannot do well if you come in on the last day and don't have anything to show and are trying to scramble to get it done. It's not going to happen. That's why I give you this 3 weeks in advance from when the project is due. That doesn't mean start 3 days or 3 hours before it's due, right? I'm not saying you need to jump off this call and start your final, but I'd start, this week, start thinking about it. What do you want to do? Come in next week with some basic floor plan drawn, right? So then that way we can continue to work on it together as a group. Okay? Any questions, comments, concerns before I let you guys go today?
Could you show how you made those detailed viewpoints?
What do you mean?
The like the white arrows, pretty much showing you where how you're looking at
This,
the walls.
we'll
Yeah.
we'll we'll deal with that another day. I'm not going to get
Okay.
into it. I brought them in last week. You can watch that video.
Okay.
We scaled them down. We brought them in. Okay. I just went here and I clicked on it. I double clicked on it once I had one of these, and that brings up a menu here that I can edit the values that are in there.
Okay. Well,
But
I'll take a
there's
look
a
at it.
video. That section head is in your final project template. You might need to scale it down. Look at the video. Talk to me next week, but it's there.
I,
Okay. Sounds
I
good.
got a I
Thank
got
you.
a simple question on the for the elevations on the side view.
Yes,
Um, all right. Is it better to do it in the middle of it like you did with the window?
I just did
Go up
this
the
here. So
okay.
I did this here because I don't want an elevation tag drawn out past or through another one.
Okay. Yeah, I did it down, well, I did it down the center of the window to like uh
Why'd this freeze? You just did it right here. I don't care. That's fine.
yeah,
If you
okay.
just put it right here in the middle, that's fine too. I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, you just don't want things going across
I
other
don't want I
like
don't want them crossing each other. I don't want this to be happening. Like I saw this earlier on
yeah.
someone's and it was like it didn't go quite through another one. It went through another dimension, but like it was like this, right?
Okay, yeah. But it's
Which
okay if you pull all the window dimensions height-wise outside the window like your 6 footer is. Okay.
absolutely. If you can get them outside, that's the better. If you
Yeah.
need to be inside because of how big your stuff is, the other
Okay.
thing is if you wanted to, you
Because
can all
I did the side windows also like you did in the center, where it's the 4 foot six, 3 6, and then 2 foot at the top. Or I
yeah,
did.
whatever you want. I don't care as long as it's legible and I can read it.
All right, sounds good.
Cool. Anything else before we adjourn today?
Now just have a great night for me.
Cool. Cool. Thank you guys. I appreciate your
Yeah,
time. I'll get this
thanks.
video downloaded and uploaded as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Cool.
Have a good night.
All right. You too. Thank you guys for your time.